Hey guys, welcome back to the house where we talk news, celebrities, and hot topics. I'm excited to be back with you guys on this Wednesday night. Now, I know I'm a little late, okay? And the latest episode of Basketball Wives aired a whole 24 hours ago. But, better late than never. The tea is still good. You guys, we got to get into OG and Miss Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives. Apparently, they have a whole beef that none of us knew about, okay? And so we're going to talk about that. And then I also want to talk about the Basketball Wives drama from last night's episode. It is a lot, and we have to dissect a couple of things. And so if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And let's get straight into the video. All right, y'all. So let's just dive right into the mess. First things first, can we get into the fact that Evelyn and Jennifer went onto Twitter last night to expose OG? Okay, now I would have expected this from Evelyn. Okay, I would have totally expected this from Evelyn, but I would not have expected Jennifer Williams to attack OG in the way that she did on Twitter last night, because last time we checked, Jennifer and OG were friends, okay? They sat up there on last night's episode calling each other sisters, and that's my bestie, and we gonna quarantine in, house B together during the, latest season of Basketball Wives. And so the fact that Jennifer is really going in on OG as of last night was just kind of shocking to me, okay? And to be honest, I am very surprised, okay? Very, very, very surprised that Evelyn is even, speaking of OG outside of the show, given what happened last year, okay? Given the fact that she didn't like OG spreading, the information out there that she was a colorist and a racist and things like that. And so if you hate that she said those things so much, you would think Evelyn would just shut the hell up. Okay, you would think that she would just leave OG alone, but no, of course she doesn't. So last night, Evelyn went on to the Twitter during last night's episode of Basketball Wives, and she said, "It's the fake house/fake storyline for me. Make it make sense." And so you guys, when I read that, I was just like, okay, well, who in the hell is she throwing shots at? Okay, who in the hell is Evelyn talking about? Like, Evelyn, put a name on it, sis. Okay, we don't need no subliminal tweets this season. If you want to say something on Twitter, put a name on it, because we don't have time to guess. And then you guys, Miss Evelyn Lozada on Twitter went on to say, "My previous house tweet has nothing to do with Jennifer," because we do know that Jennifer was introduced in last night's episode. She said, "That tweet has nothing to do with Jennifer. Let me clarify that." And then, Jennifer, chimes in. And at this point, that's when I started to get confused, because I'm like, okay, now Evelyn and Jennifer are tag teaming. Okay, they tag teaming. I thought they didn't really see it for each other. But all right. Jennifer says, "Woo, it's the lies and the rented house for me." Okay, it's the rented house for me. And so now that Jennifer is talking about rented houses, I'm really curious in who the hell they're talking about. And so then Jennifer Williams, quote, retweets Evelyn's tweet and says, "That damn part. We don't rent, we buy," as Jay-Z said, okay? And so let me just, do a little sidebar on renting really quickly. First things first, ain't nothing wrong with a rented house, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with a leased car, a rented car, rented apartment, a rented house. Y'all out here need to be renting whatever the hell you need to rent until you can afford to buy. Okay, I hate this notion like, renting is so bad and you so broke because you're renting. Like, some people don't even have money to rent a goddamn thing. And then you guys, okay, of course, Jennifer Williams isn't done tweeting, right? Because the fans are, replying and they're asking, well, who in the hell is renting houses and faking storylines? And Jennifer just simply tweeted, "It starts with an O and ends with a G." Okay, AKA Miss OG, right? She says, "For clarity, I don't have a problem with people renting a house. It's when you have production rent you a house and you fronting like it's yours." Okay, well, look at Miss Jennifer Williams getting Miss OG together. Okay, she is getting OG together. And so I guess we can assume from Jennifer and Evelyn's tweets that OG on this season of Basketball Wives, I guess, is renting a house, right? Production is helping her rent a house for a couple of days so that they can, film some scenes and, do what they got to do, because obviously OG's current residence isn't in tip-top shape to be on television. which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't necessarily like it. But my whole question is, why in the hell is Jennifer Williams so upset and bothered by the fact that OG is renting houses? Okay, why are you so bothered, Jennifer? I'm confused. Like, I thought you and OG were cool. Okay, so what's really going on? The beef between OG and Jennifer has now been revealed. Then, of course, OG claps back, right? And I'm not going to go into all the tweets that OG, was tweeting out last night because I just thought it was a little bit too much. Okay, it was just too foolish for me. But OG said, the nerve, okay? It be the fakest ones talking, okay? She said, hashtag sit this one out, fool. Okay? And so I'm just a little bit confused. Where is the rift, okay? What happened between Jennifer and OG? If you guys know, comment down below because we really need to figure out what the hell going on. Now, as far as Evelyn is concerned, Evelyn, girl, why is you even entertaining the idea of OG, right? And speaking of Evelyn, I believe she did an interview with lovebscott.com recently. I'll go ahead and put the interview down in the description box below, but she went to Love B. Scott and basically said that, she is sick of this whole colorism issue being brought up, and she's sick of OG using it to weaponize the rest of the girls and things of that nature. We even saw on last night's episode of Basketball Wives, when Evelyn and Kristen was talking about the OG situation, they was basically like, they can't stand the fact that OG is, coming up with this fake outrage colorism stuff because it just isn't true. Right? And what the girls are doing, which includes Evelyn, Shani and Kristen, is they are trying to make it seem like they want to hear OG out. Right? They keep saying that, OG's thoughts and feelings are valid, but then they invalidate it by saying that she doesn't know what she's talking about because there is no colorism issues on this cast, which I would have to disagree with. But I digress. That's a different conversation for a different day. And so, let me know what you guys think about the whole situation down in the comments below. It is a hot ass mess. Now let's get into last night's episode very quickly. There was just a couple of things that I wanted to highlight because I just thought it was interesting. Okay. And so first things first, I did want to commend VH1 and the producers of Basketball Wives for, showcasing a lot of these stories, these real life stories regarding COVID and Black Lives Matter. Okay. Because during a year like 2020, you have to focus on the issues of substance, a little bit more rather than the foolishness and the fighting. Okay. And so I appreciate VH1 for doing that. And they've been doing that on Love and Hip Hop too. Right. And so I find that to be incredible. But also, am I the only one that's really loving Jackie? Okay. Jackie Christie this season. Over the years, Jackie is just, becoming more likable. Okay, she's becoming more likable. I really do F with Jackie because I think she is the comedic relief of the show. Okay, and so I just appreciate it. I love her confessionals. Her confessionals are super funny. And Jackie is just a breath of fresh air. Okay, so let me know how you guys are feeling about Miss Jackie Christie this season on Basketball Wives. Now, something that's irritating me, and I've said this time and time again, okay? The ladies living in all of these different cities is just annoying to me. Okay, I absolutely hate it. And we found out that, Miss Jackie Christie moved to Sacramento, California, right? And so Jackie no longer lives in LA. We also found out that Kristen moved to Atlanta to where Malaysia lives, okay? And then you guys, we also, in this episode, were privy to the information that Jennifer also lived in Atlanta. And so you have Malaysia, Kristen, and Jennifer living in Atlanta, okay? They might be my neighbors for all we know. Hey, girls. All right, you have Jackie, who lives in Sacramento. And then in last week's episode, we found out that Shani was planning on moving to Houston. And so it's really funny how Jennifer Williams and Evelyn Lozada want to tag team OG on Twitter about renting houses, but yet Malaysia has been renting a house in LA just to film the show for years, right? And we do know that this whole season, y'all are going to be living in 2 rented houses. And so I'm just a little bit confused, okay? And just for the sake of camaraderie and storylines and things like that, I think it's so stupid and idiotic how everybody lives in a different goddamn city. Like, I just feel like we should officially move Basketball Wives to Atlanta, okay? Because I kind of feel like most of the girls, okay, the majority of the girls at this point live in Atlanta, okay? And so let me know what you guys think about the situation down in the comments below. Now, very quickly, I did want to mention Cece, okay? Cece was, Byron's fiance on the last season of Basketball Wives. We did see that Evelyn Lozada was being very not nice to her, okay? I don't want to say the A word, but, Evelyn was not being very nice to Cece, and I think she chased Cece down a driveway with a whole bush. Okay. And so Cece was actually one of my favorite characters on the show. I was really sad to see her go because I just felt like she was good energy. Okay. Good positive vibes. But they actually brought Cece up on last night's episode. Malaysia brought her up and said, she's now married to Byron and the wedding was beautiful and things of that nature. And then Malaysia went on to say that, now that Cece is married, why would she come around the group again? Okay. With all the drama, right? And I find that to be very ironic. Okay, I find that to be very ironic, seeming as though, Malaysia was a big point of contention when it came to, Cece and her hard time being on the show. Okay, because if you ask me, I kind of felt like Cece was being bullied. That's just my opinion, and it ain't changing. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about that. But I miss Cece. And then we get into Evelyn's storyline. We see that Evelyn moved somewhere in LA, child. Okay. Her house looks beautiful, at least from the inside. It's nice, airy, very white, and just very cute. Okay. Very posh. So I'm living for Miss Evelyn Lozada's house. But she mentions that one of the reasons why she moved is because her new neighborhood has beefed up security. And she needs the security because she kind of feels threatened by OG and the rest of the fans of Basketball Wives for, perpetuating this, colorism issue, right? I guess the girls are mad at Evelyn for allegedly being a colorist and she's afraid for her life, which is one of the reasons why she moved. And y'all, when she said that, I just completely rolled my eyes. Okay, I'm just like, girl bye. Okay, girl bye. And so moving on, we see that Evelyn comes up with this idea to, rent a mansion and have like this mini 2-week vacation. I just think the whole thing is disingenuous, right? Evelyn and none of the other girls, according to Jackie Christie, never even reached out to Jackie Christie during the whole coronavirus except to film Basketball Wives. And so that just tells me that the ladies really don't care about each other. They don't care about each other. And so this whole, let's rent a mansion and have a 2-week vacation and film this show is just disingenuous because we all know that it's just for the TV. Okay, we know that this is all just made up for the TV. And we know that they're only doing this for, the Carnova, right? It's easy to just have everybody quarantine and live in 2 separate houses to make filming easier. And so the whole thing with 2 houses just annoys me. But it is what it is. And then later on in the episode, we see that Kristen and Evelyn get word that OG and Jennifer are going to be joining them on this 2-week vacation. Okay. And for some reason, Evelyn and Kristen are shocked. Okay. They're surprised. They're upset. They seem like they're bothered. And again, just another disingenuous moment because you knew OG was going to be on this season. You knew Jennifer was going to be on this season. And so why are you shocked? Okay, you thought that Jennifer and OG weren't going to be invited to the coronavirus pandemic Ponderosa. Okay, so just the fake storylines, right? Evelyn, again, just being a hypocrite. You want to call out OG for her fake storylines and her fake rented houses, but yet this whole 2-mansion situation is a whole fake storyline. I'm just saying, okay? And then very quickly this week, we get reintroduced into Jennifer. We see that she lives in Atlanta now. She's been living her best life without wearing a mask in Atlanta during the whole global pandemic. Moving right along, we do see, Miss Jennifer Williams talking about her ex-boyfriend. Yeah, the same one that stole her car and had, some type of affiliation with Sheree, Nene's best friend. They went onto YouTube and, they were being extremely messy about the situation, dragging Sheree into something that she didn't need to be dragged into. All right, I'm just saying, okay, it is what it is. But yeah, she talks about the boyfriend that stole her car. She mentions that she is going to be producing a documentary about her time with this boyfriend. I guess, Jennifer Williams wants to get paid for her pain. And so I'm all here for it. Make your coins from your life experience. And then just in general, I absolutely freaking love Jennifer this season, right? Besides the fact that she's trying to expose people for rented houses and things like that on Twitter. But, you know, at the time of filming, okay, this season, I guess a couple of months ago, I was living for Jennifer's attitude, okay? Because I feel like for so long, Jennifer has been trying to fit in with Shawnee and Evelyn and the rest of the popular pretty girls. And I feel like time and time again, both Evelyn and Shawnee have given their ass for Jennifer to kiss. And so this season, I feel like Jennifer just don't care. Okay, she coming with the heat. She's very carefree. She doesn't give a F. Okay, she's decided that she doesn't want to be a part of the Mean Girl clique anymore and that she's going to hang out with Jackie and OG. Moving right along to Miss Malaysia Pargo. I really respect Malaysia, okay, for bringing up the topic of police brutality and racism in last night's episode. You could see that she was very emotional because her brother was a victim of police brutality, unfortunately. And you saw a scene with her and her 3 kids talking about the realities of being Black in America and dealing with, you know, violence towards Black people at the hands of the government and the police. And y'all, I don't know how many times I've ever teared up watching the very ratchet and foolish Basketball Wives, but I was actually starting to tear up during Malaysia's story. And so I just respect and appreciate Malaysia for really telling her story and talking to her kids and really showcasing that on television because I just thought it was beautiful. And then you guys, going back to Miss OG, y'all's favorite football player, she is, living her best life in her rented house with her mom and Kwame, who refuses to propose to her. And she's just talking about the trip. And she's saying, that even though she doesn't really see it, for some of the girls like Kristen and Shawnee, and Evelyn, that she hopes that her and the ladies can get to some type of resolve, okay? Hopefully they can get to a place where they can understand each other and talk to each other and maybe even potentially make up. And so I just love OG's attitude coming into the season, not, wanting to fight, but to really understand the other ladies and understand where they're coming from. Unlike Kristen, Evelyn, and Shawnee, they say that, OG's thoughts and feelings are valid, but then they like to claim that colorism doesn't exist in this group of ladies, which I know that is the opinion of some of you guys as well. I know I was reading the comments the other day and some of you guys were like, it's not colorism and it's not this and it's not that. And you guys like to bring up Kristen and Malaysia, because they're of a darker skin tone. But you guys, at the end of the day, I'm not going to go into detail about the history and what colorism is and how featureism plays a part into that. However, there's just layers to this, okay? There's layers to this, and we could really, sit here and dissect it. But there's layers, and I definitely do think there is a hint of colorism when it comes to the ladies and how they treat OG. But that's just my opinion, okay? Definitely let me know what you guys think about the whole episode down in the comments below. And then what do you guys think about Evelyn and Jennifer exposing OG for renting houses and trying to play it off like it's hers? Like, girl, what's really going on? I'm gonna wrap it up right here. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will definitely see you guys a little bit later. Love you, and don't forget to create a great day. Bye, you guys.